Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brandy Terrell, Deputy Chief of Staff at the Veterans Benefits Administration. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Managing VBA Performance and Results Quarter 2 webcast of Fiscal Year 2019. Thank you to all of you who have joined us today. I'd now like to introduce our Undersecretary for Benefits, Dr. Paul Lawrence. I also want to welcome two special guests, Mr. Dave McClanahan, Director of our Appeals Management Office, and Mr. Will Streitberger, Director of Vocational, Rehabilitation, and Employment Service. We'll hear more from them later. Now, without further delay, I'll pass it over to Dr. Lawrence.
Thank you, Brandy, for that introduction. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're going to cover a lot of ground, so get ready for a lot of data in the next half hour or so. We're tracking and reporting this data to be transparent and accountable. And of course, a big thank you to all our dedicated VBA staff who will work to make a difference for every veteran we serve. So let's get started. Here's our agenda for today. We'll accomplish five things in our time together. First, I'll present VBA results for Quarter 2 of FY 2019. Second, I'll describe how all VBA employees are working to serve veterans. Third, I'll detail the engagement we've had with veterans to include what I've done. Fourth, I'll provide an update on two important issues: appeals modernization. Dave McClanahan, leader of VBA's appeals team, is back again to tell us about the progress we've made since full implementation on February 19th. Telecounseling and modernization. I've asked Will Streitberger, head of our Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment team, to join me today to talk about the newest developments in VR&E. And finally, I'll answer two questions from our VSO partners. Before we begin, I want to remind you about my three priorities. They are: 1, providing benefits with excellent customer service to our veterans; 2, fiscal stewardship; and 3, strong collaboration. Everything we do relates back to these three priorities. I will call out progress when it happens, and when it doesn't, I will describe what we are doing about it. For those of you new to VBA, here's a brief overview. We're an impressive nationwide organization comprised of more than 24,000 employees, most of whom are veterans, that distributed more than $29 billion in benefits to service members, veterans, and their families in Q2. Within VBA, we have 8 business lines that you see displayed on the chart. I'll provide highlights for each business line for the past quarter. Let's get started with compensation. In Q2, we served 4.8 million veterans and paid $21.7 billion in compensation benefits. We completed nearly 264,000 claims, on average within 127.8 days. While good, this is below our completion target for the quarter. Our successful implementation of the Appeals Modernization Act had a temporary impact to this performance. How? Some of our best performers were hired away to handle appeals processing, and we didn't backfill them fast enough. Additionally, there were some unexpected technology glitches that impacted processing times. To deal with these, we've accelerated our hiring and are working closely with our OIT colleagues to address systems defects. Compared to the first quarter, we are also dealing with slightly more issues per claim. Of note in Q2, as previously shared by Secretary Wilkie, we began prioritizing the claims of Purple Heart recipients as of April 1st. Let's now talk about our appeals program. Our legacy appeals consist of inventory of appeals filed prior to February 19, 2019, when the full implementation of appeals modernization began. In Q2, our legacy appeals inventory was reduced to about 267,000, which is slightly above our target. Our actual appeals inventory was higher than projected due to a contractor technology glitch in the system we use to receive and process mail, which delayed mail sent to our staff and therefore delayed processing. This has been fixed, and we're getting the mail to the right place. Nonetheless, we remain committed to eliminating all non-remand legacy appeals in FY 2020. Now let's talk about pension. As you can see, we provided significant benefits to approximately 251,000 veterans. What's different from this chart compared to last quarter is that we broke out veterans pension and survivors pension into two parts. While our claims processing was slightly below target, we continue to identify opportunities to improve on this. Of note, we completed these claims in 115.1 days, 10 days faster than the target. Let's now talk about survivors' benefits. In Q2, we paid $2.2 billion in benefits to 615,000 survivors. We completed 15,300 claims, which is below the target. We are working to close this gap and continue to identify opportunities to streamline processes to meet these targets. Let's talk about Fiduciary. Previously in Q1, we reported on the number of fiduciaries helping veterans, but that wasn't the full picture of who is served through this important program. Fiduciaries look out for the welfare of not only veterans, but their beneficiaries such as surviving spouses and children. Therefore, we decided to report on the number of beneficiaries served. Our new reporting numbers show 190,100 beneficiaries were served in Q2. We also conducted 24,000 field exams to the homes of our most vulnerable beneficiaries, exceeding our target. Now let's talk about insurance. Our insurance offering is highly rated with a customer satisfaction rating this quarter at 94%, and we provide this benefit in a timely and accurate manner. In addition, we continue to locate hard-to-find beneficiaries upon an insurance veteran's passing. In Q2, we located 378 such beneficiaries and paid them $1.7 million in death claim benefits. Let's turn our focus to another important benefit, education. In Q2, we paid $3 billion to 488,000 veterans or their dependents. We processed original applications in an average of 21.8 days, over 6 days faster than our target. We restored 929 months of GI Bill entitlement to those affected by school closures. Following 3 new school closures, we took quick action to notify the 2,173 veteran students of their eligibility for restoration of education benefits. If you think you qualify for restoration of benefits, you can call the toll-free number on this slide. Now let's talk about vocational rehabilitation and employment. Our goal in VR&E is to get veterans to positive outcomes, which include employment, independent living, or continuing with school. We exceeded that goal last quarter. We also promised to hire a total of 169 counselors and are on track to do so. Since we rolled out telecounseling nationwide, appointments have averaged over 1,000 per month. Will is joining us later to talk more about modernization efforts and how we're bringing the highest level of care to our veterans and their families in the VR&E program. Now let's turn to home loans. Our home loan program helps service members and veterans obtain, retain, or refinance their home. It's doing a great job, and I want to call your attention to a couple of stats. On the left side, we guaranteed nearly $32 billion for new home loans. We also work with 31,432 veterans to keep them in their homes and avoid foreclosure. Our target is to process 95% of the home loan certificates of eligibility within 5 days. In Q2, more than 99% were completed within 5 days, well above the target, and almost half were completed in 1 day. Last time I told you about our specially adapted housing program that began executing housing adaptations for our veterans enrolled in the VR&E program. As you can see, we approved 560 grant applications totaling nearly $29 million. In Q2, we awarded 4 grants totaling almost $800,000 to develop assistive technology, which includes voice commands for severely disabled people to interface with their home environment, artificial intelligence to monitor household hazards and object locators for the blind, and a disability-adapted, fully wheelchair-acceptable bathroom module that can be delivered and attached to an existing home. Our next slide is the Office of Transition and Economic Development. Our Office of Transition and Economic Development, or TED, supports veteran transition from military service to civilian life. TED administers our part of the Transition Assistance Program, or TAP, where we provide information on veterans, VA benefits, and services. Department of Defense provides the surveys on customer satisfaction. We're now going to report on how we did on tap touches. We'll be reporting this measurement for the previous quarter every time to align with DoD's customer satisfaction surveys. Tap touches were 37,493, and it's defined as the number of service members, spouses, and caregivers that attend these TAP briefings. Satisfaction with our performance exceeded target. In terms of TED highlights, we have this cool new book that provides an overview of the military to civilian transition. You can access this book from the link on the slide. Additionally, the next Economic Investment Roundtable will take place in the Washington area in Puget Sound later this year. This is similar to what we did in San Juan as reported in Q1. Now let's turn to the topic of engagement with veterans and stakeholders. I traveled across the country visiting and meeting lots of VA employees, VSOs, and veterans. I went to Tampa and participated in a point-in-time count of the number of homeless veterans in the area. Those counts help us understand where there is much more work to be done in the effort to finally end homelessness amongst veterans. I went to stand-downs, VSO posts and chapters, and midwinter conferences. For those of you who keep track or want to keep track, I try to post some of these activities regularly on social media. VBA more broadly conducted nearly 2,000 outreach events, and our overseas military service coordinators had 5,000 interactions with service members and veterans. In terms of financial well-being, VA remains committed to ensuring that veterans and other beneficiaries are protected and understand how best to manage their benefits. For more information on financial well-being, please read VBA's blog at the link on the slide. It also has a list of useful financial resources. So now let's turn our attention to the numbers and look at our budget. Our budget for FY19 is $4.4 billion. As you can see, we're halfway through the year and we have spent about half of our budget. We are on track and managing our resources well. Part of our commitment to being good stewards requires transparency and accountability to Congress. VA is part of the executive branch. As such, the legislative branch, Congress and the Senate provide oversight as we execute our mission. In Q2, we participated in 3 hearings explaining our operations and the resources we need to provide outstanding service to our veterans. In addition, GAO examines how taxpayer dollars are spent and provides reports to Congress on how agencies can work more efficiently. In Q2, we continued to work directly with GAO to resolve operational program issues and get off the GAO high-risk list. Our goal is to continually improve our programs to better serve veterans and their families.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. Next, we will showcase 2 important efforts we've been managing in Q2. We've brought back Mr. Dave McClinican of the Appeals Modernization to provide an update on the new appeals process.
Thank you, Brandy. As Dr. Lawrence reported, we implemented the Appeals Modernization Act on time on February 19th. With less than 6,000 supplemental claims and higher-level reviews received so far, it is too early to draw any final conclusions about our progress. However, everything is going as planned. We consolidated higher-level reviews at our new Decision Review Operations Centers at the St. Petersburg and Seattle regional offices, which are fully operational. Supplemental claims and higher-level reviews are being distributed in our national work queue to ensure efficient processing. And the wait time for higher-level reviews is only 28 days, and for supplemental claims, only 25 days. We do have a few challenges, though. Implementing significant legislation like the Appeals Modernization Act always presents some internal and external management challenges. We will continue to work with our employees and veterans and their representatives to address these. It's early, but we are seeing a lower than expected selection of the higher level review option in the new process. While this may indicate normal operation of the new process as veterans first choose the supplemental claim lane to ensure that the record in their claim is complete, it means that we do not yet have a full workload for the new Decision Review Operations Centers. To give the workload time to build, we have assigned the remaining RAMP, Rapid Appeals Modernization Program workload, consisting of about 500 higher-level reviews and about 9,000 supplemental claims to those centers. Brandy, These challenges are not significant, and we believe our operation of the new process is on track. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Next, Mr. Will Streitberger, who heads our Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Service, is here to provide an update on the great work they're doing to modernize the way we deliver services to veterans. He oversees the delivery of services for service members and veterans to prepare for, find, and maintain suitable careers. As you can see, he is a Navy veteran with 25 years of federal service. Will?
Thank you, Brandy, and thank you, Dr. Lawrence, for inviting me here today. VRNE has embarked on a comprehensive, multi-year modernization effort to improve customer service by streamlining processes and modernizing systems, details which you can see on the slide. I'm also pleased to announce our new telecounseling capability using VA Video Connect. Telecounseling is a new and innovative way to provide service members and veterans greater access to benefits. It offers choice in how services are delivered and flexibility to assist them in preparing for, finding, and maintaining employment when communicating with their counselor or employment coordinator. The use of telecounseling can save time and money, as well as support active lifestyles that include family, work, education, and training. It's simple and easy to use on any mobile device or computer, just like your iPhone or iPad. It's important to point out that telecounseling is one of many service delivery options, and it will never take the place of a service member or veteran's choice to meet in person with their counselor during their plan of service. For more information about VA Video Connect and telecounseling, please contact your vocational rehabilitation counselor at your local VRNE office. We hope that you will find telecounseling valuable while participating in the VRNE program. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you, Will, and I know that your office is committed to making sure that veterans have the support and services they need to find gainful employment. Now we're going to move into the Q&A portion. We've asked two of our VSO partners to record questions for us today. First, we'll hear a recorded question from Ryan Gallucci with Veterans of Foreign Wars.
On the military installations that the VFW serves, we consistently hear from transitioning service members that the information they receive in TAP is very valuable, but that it's too much information in a short period of time and nearly impossible to absorb it all. What steps is VBA taking to improve the overall knowledge of VA benefits and services like compensation, pension, and others for transitioning service members?
Thank you, Ryan, for this question and for all the continued dedication and service VFW provides to our veterans. VA has recently begun providing a variety of condensed classes designed to be given throughout a service member's military career. These condensed classes address specific groupings of benefit information. We are rolling out a total of 12 of these classes, with the last one going live by summer 2020. We agree that early and consistent information about benefits is key.
Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. Next, we'll hear a recorded question from Vietnam Veterans of America's Executive Director, Rick Weidman.
What can you tell us about Blue Water Navy, and when will VA start processing Blue Water Navy claims?
Thank you, Rick, for your questions, and thank you for all that VVA does to champion this generation of veterans. Blue Water Navy refers to veterans who served in the open ocean near the Republic of Vietnam between January 9, 1962 and May 7, 1975. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit recently ruled that the clear intent of Congress was the definition of the Republic of Vietnam extends 12 nautical miles from shore. If this ruling stands, Blue Water Navy veterans who serve within the 12 miles of shore are presumed to have been exposed to Agent Orange and therefore entitled to a presumption of service connection for certain diseases. This is a significant change from the past because they were not previously eligible for the presumption. Currently, we're analyzing policies and developing procedures, identifying affected populations and their eligibility to benefits and health care, and developing a robust outreach and communications plan. As you can appreciate, much of this is still in progress, and we will continue to keep you informed regarding updates. Before I turn this over to Brandy, let me summarize and make a request. The purpose of this Managing VBA Performance and Results Q2 webcast was to demonstrate what we're doing with your money and your trust. As I described, every day we're doing tremendous things for veterans. The overall performance of our business lines is positive. In some areas, we fell short this quarter. However, it's important to have a plan and work to get back on track. We do, and we are. We are on target when it comes to the budget and spending your money carefully. As Dave mentioned, we implemented the Appeals Modernization Act on time. As Will mentioned, we implemented telecounseling and continue to modernize VR&E. Considering all of this, I call our performance this quarter solid. I will never lose sight of the fact that every day more than 24,000 employees come to work at VBA with the sole purpose of serving veterans. It's their passion, it's what motivates them, and I've seen their dedication. I am privileged to be part of this team. Now for my request. I invite you to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the GI Bill with us. To celebrate this milestone, veterans from all generations are invited to share a short video telling their story about how the GI Bill helped them realize the American dream. If you use the education benefit or the home loan benefit or another benefit in the law, please consider letting others know what you did. The submission instructions are simple for uploading, and you can post your video at the link available on the slide. The GI Bill had such an important impact on us as a nation. And at VBA, we're proud to be the organization that administers these valuable benefits. And so now, I'd like to introduce you to Leo Nunes, a Navy veteran from Connecticut. And this is his GI Bill story.
Hi, I'm Leo Nunes, and this is my GI Bill story. I'm a Navy veteran serving from 1995 to 1999. Upon getting out of service, I returned back home to Connecticut to attend college at Western Connecticut State University. There, I was able to obtain my Bachelor in Business Administration in 3 years, and I couldn't have done it without the GI Bill. Aside from the monetary benefits, the application process within the school's financial aid office opened doors for me. It helped me create friendships with other veterans who were also starting school there. It helped me land jobs within the university through the VA work-study program. It truly set the foundation for my whole college experience, and for that, I couldn't be more thankful. Happy 75th GI Bill.
This completes the webcast on Managing VBA Performance and Results for the second quarter of fiscal year 2019. A recording of today's presentation will be available at benefits.va.gov/stakeholder. For VA customer service, you may call 1-800-827-1000. To learn more about VA benefits, you can visit us at benefits.va.gov. That concludes our call today. Thank you again, everyone. We're glad you were able to join us, and we look forward to the next time.